I might have to get a new phone pretty soon. I'll see. In my last video, people were saying the audio wasn't as crystal clear, so I'm going to recap what I talked about in my last video, and hopefully this will be crystal clear. I talked about the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind happening before our very eyes. So if you're someone that's in debt, if you're someone that's burdened by financial responsibilities, this video is for you. Now, I'm not asking you for money because I get paid from the world's largest secular organization to present the gospel to people that are watching my channel, and also to edify the church, the body of Christ. So I'm not asking you for your money. That's not what this video is about. However, if you're thinking, you know what, I learned something new today, and instead of me buying a cup of Starbucks, I'm going to donate $2 to your channel because I believe in what you are doing and what you are promoting and all this kind of stuff. All right, there you go. There's my little sales pitch, if you will. I believe, again, that we are witnessing the greatest wealth transfer. Why? Why is this important? I will tell you why it's important first, and then I'll dive into a little bit of some scripture and some thoughts. It's important because many people think that the rapture is escapism. You are wanting to escape from your financial obligations here on earth. And this is why you want to escape, because you want to leave your employers high and dry. And I don't believe that for a second. I do not believe that for a second. I believe the opposite is true. I believe the opposite is true. Before the rapture happens, I believe you will be financially independent, as in you will not have any debt before you go. My humble opinion. You can argue with me, but I believe that we take care, as Christian custodians, we take care of our employers, people we work for, whether we're government employees, whether we are just regular employees, whatever. I believe we take care of them. How do we do that? We do the best job that we possibly can every single day, and we don't stack on crazy debts. We all have crazy debts. We've made silly decisions in our life. But I honestly believe that that will not hinder what the Lord is about to do on the earth. And I believe that whatever financial obligations you have, I believe in a second that could be released from you, as in you'll be able to have enough money to pay down all your debt, release yourself from those financial obligations, to the point where people are going to be looking at you going, this person is not greedy. They are a man or woman of God. They're taking care of all their financial responsibilities. It's almost like they're getting ready to go on a big trip. Before you take off on vacation, if you will, for the next 7 years, you usually take care of all your stuff. You know, you make your phone calls, you have people look after your house, whatever it is. That's a normal thing that we do. And I believe that this is going to supernaturally happen to us in the way that we're going to have creative ideas as to how to generate wealth in order to get out of debt. Not to be wealthy, not to hoard it, but to take care of our financial obligations, take care of our loved ones, and then also that transference of wealth goes, let's just say you were to die tomorrow or whatever, there's a transference of wealth that goes to your children and hopefully your children's children, that kind of thing. That seems to be the responsibility. That seems to be the reasonable thing to do. So why is God's kingdom different? It is not different. God takes care of his children. He helps them take care of their financial obligations. Why? Because they are exempt from tribute. They are exempt from taxes. But in order to not offend anyone around us, because we're the king's children, we pay taxes. We pay tribute. We pay everything that we owe. And God will provide a way for us. He did it for Peter. Peter was approached by tributaries, tax collectors. And as he was about to walk into the house to take money from the disciples, Jesus got in his way and blocked his way. And he said, Simon, what are you doing? And Simon said, which is Peter, Simon says, I'm collecting taxes for the government, basically. We got to pay taxes. And Jesus said, let me ask you a question. In regards to kings, do their children pay taxes or do strangers? Peter said, strangers. Okay. They're exempt, right? Yes, they're exempt. Okay. Are you not sons of the king? Yes. Okay. You're exempt from taxes as well. You're exempt from taxes, from paying tribute to a secular king. You're exempt from that. Instead, the children don't pay taxes. The strangers do. The strangers pay the kingdom. The secular organizations pay the kingdom. This is exactly what my channel's doing right now. Every time you watch an ad on my channel, it is the secular organization extracting money from their bank accounts and putting it into my bank accounts. So if you see these crazy, noisy ads, think of it as wealth transfer going into my account. Not from your account, it's going into my account because these advertisers are paying Google to place ads. And Google pays me because I allow them to put their ads inside my videos when I'm talking about Jesus Christ. I allow secular organizations to pay me while I'm preaching the gospel. Do you understand that? I allow it. I can turn it off. I can say, no, I don't want your money going into my bank account, you secular organization. That's blood money, whatever you think. Or you can say, you know what? There is a transfer for a reason, and it's a healthy transfer. Because secular organizations are willing to pay people in order for them to be profitable, but we also make a profit from that as well by preaching the gospel. I think it's a beautiful synergy. I really do. I think it's a beautiful thing. So, the reason why I say that there's a wealth transfer, I want to talk about Exodus. They were in debt. The Israelites were in debt. They were up to their eyeballs in debt, drowning in debt. Man, there's so many parallels to the flood. And Jesus could not drown. He could not drown in the water, in the sea. Why? Because he is a king. He is above that. He could not be financially burdened. He's exempt from all that stuff. So this is why it was easy for him to walk on water. Jesus walked on water, and I believe it was impossible for Jesus to drown. Why? Because they are sons of the king. Jesus wouldn't let him drown. Wouldn't let him drown. He walked on water. Jesus walked on water. So that in the Exodus, the Israelites were servants. They were slaves. They were bond slaves. They could not leave because they had financial obligations. They had quotas to meet every single day. And it got to a point where the Egyptians gave them so much wealth in order to send them away. They're basically saying, here, take my money, go away. go. Please go. And the Israelites did not say, oh, this is blood money. We can't take it. We're going into the desert without any of your stuff. No. There was a wealth transfer from the Egyptians to all of the Israelites, even their children. They were putting necklaces, golden necklaces, layer upon layer on their children so that they could hold all the gold. They were all throwing gold on their necks, their earrings, everywhere they could, and basically walking out of Egypt, spoiling Egypt. Israel spoiled Egypt. They took their money and ran, basically. But it was Egypt that said, here, you take our money. We want you to leave. And some of them said, wait a minute, why don't we go with you? There was a percentage of Egyptians that, whatever reason, wanted to go with Egypt and left Egypt behind. What's interesting, and I'll wrap this up real quick, is God asked Moses, he said, gather the people. I'm going to get you to build me a tabernacle. So Moses approached the people and said, on a voluntary basis, I want you to volunteer to give me gold, silver, things that I need, material, in order to build God's tabernacle. Israel did not have anything to build the tabernacle. They were slaves. Egypt basically gave them the wealth to build the tabernacle. And the tabernacle is a shadow of the real tabernacle in heaven. So I believe that secular organizations are going to be giving money to Christian organizations, not only because they're doing good work, but they also feel like if they don't do it, they're doing something wrong. They're doing it probably not of the best reasons all of the time. They're doing it out of fear, and they're doing it because they know, well, if I take care of God's people, I can do my business with a clear conscience. And this is probably what goes on with secular organizations. They don't mind donating because they understand some of these principles of transferring of wealth from one organization to another. We as Christians have to understand that as well, because we are God's children. We are sons and daughters of the King. We are exempt from tribute. So hopefully you got something out of that. Hopefully this makes sense to you. I can go on and on. I've seen it happen in my life where it'd be something simple like, oh man, money's tight. Money is tight financially, and I had to get the brakes done. It cost me like $900 or something. 800 and something. I'm like, man, I can do it, but it's going to be tight. I can do it because we're going on holidays and different stuff. My wife sends me a text after I paid the guy to fix my brakes. And she's like, do you know who deposited money into our bank account? And I'm like, no, usually people are taking money out of my bank account. Bills and all that stuff. And she said, yes, somebody deposited $880 into my bank account. And I'm like, that's weird. It was the government. The government dumped $800+ bucks into my bank account for some carbon tax remission, refunding, repayment back, something, whatever. The secular government that you hate put money into my bank account when I needed it. And I didn't ask. It just happened. Why? Because I'm doing God's work behind the scenes. I am preaching, I'm sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ on my YouTube channel. And I'm reading all this kind of stuff. I'm not doing any works. I'm just preaching the gospel. And the government is giving me money. It's not a loan. It was some kind of a carbon thing initiative that they released to all the families that had 3 or less kids or whatever at home, blah, blah, blah. All this different criteria. We met the criteria and they just deposited. I never gave them any of my banking information. They just threw it in there, which is kind of scary in some ways. My point is, the largest company on earth is paying me to preach the gospel. It's being deposited into my bank account every 28 days from the world's largest secular organization. Do you grasp what I am throwing down to you guys? I'm telling you, this is beginning to happen all over the world, where people are starting to tell stories of miraculous events where they're either getting raises at their work, they're getting promotions, they're getting bonuses that they never thought of. This is going to happen supernaturally. You don't have to lift a finger, is what I'm telling you, because you are God's son, you're God's daughter, you are God's children. So hopefully this is inspiring you and also helping you to not get mad every time you see an ad. Every time you see an ad and it's louder than my video, know this, that this is a sign loud and clear. Every time you see an ad, I am being paid by that ad from a secular organization, no matter what the ad is. They pay me. So if you want to support my channel, watch my videos. Put up with the ads, if you will. You don't have to click on the ads. You don't have to do anything. It's like 10 seconds. And then you could skip the ad. I do that. I watch other people's channels. I don't, as soon as I see an ad, I don't unsubscribe. That's weird. I know it's supporting their channel. I'm smart. I know what those channels are doing. They're monetized. All those channels are monetized. Riverman Watch is monetized. If you type in Genesis and you listen to audiobooks online on YouTube, they're monetized. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this audio is crisp enough for you to hear. If you got something out of this, you could do a couple of things. You could donate to this channel anywhere from $2 up to whatever, hundreds of dollars if you feel like it. Or you can just leave a comment and say, man, I got something out of this, and then leave. You don't have to pay me a nickel. You don't have to pay me anything. It's free. It's free. YouTube is free. And if you've made it this far and you're watching, subscribe to this channel. That helps me know that I'm doing the right thing right now. And feel free to give me a thumbs up as well. That helps me build my channel. Subscribing helps me build my channel. It helps Google pay me more money. Just being honest. All right, hopefully you got something out of this. Thanks a lot. See you in another video. Bye for now.